Hi! It's been a minute. This is the first proper video I think I've made in maybe 3 weeks. And there's a reason for that. I explained a little bit at the start of the last video about why one of the reasons happened. Probably the main reason why I guess I stopped everything. I know a lot of people don't follow me on social media. If you follow me on social media, you'll know exactly what's going on. The actual tweets I put out kind of went virally. Well, virally for me. I think the actual analytics on that was like millions of people who saw the tweets of what happened to me, which is kind of crazy. This isn't meant to be like a side story. This isn't meant to be like, oh, you feel so sorry for me or whatever. I want to explain exactly what happened, exactly why I took the break, and exactly the image that I have in my head of where I want to take this channel. Because when you're away for 3 weeks, you get so many ideas of like things that you want to try, and things you're like, yeah, I'll do the idea, but I'll do it eventually, I'll do it some other time. But I think I finally want to put those ideas into fruition. So, a little backstory of kind of what happened, really. So we'll start from where it all kind of went wrong. So Insomnia, Sammy and I, we flew over there. I think it was around March 28th, I think we got there. And what ended up happening is obviously we had a dog called Mochi. You've seen videos of her and whatnot. She's adorable, adorable, adorable dog. But whenever we are away at Insomnia, this is in the UK, and where I'm here is in LA, Los Angeles, California. So 6,000 miles away, there or thereabouts, away from what happened. So my friend came over. I have a lot of music equipment here. I do music in my spare time. So I was like, well, if you want to come over, you can come stay at our place. There's a guy we've known for a very, very long time. I trust him. Even to this day, I trust him with everything. If you don't come over, you can use my music equipment and whatnot, and you can just take care of Mochi in the spare time. And he was like, yeah, no problem. So he came over. We brought him over a few days beforehand just so I can show him the ropes of how to take care of Mochi. And what happened was I went to Minnesota for a few days, and then we went over to the UK. We were on the train from London up to Birmingham. And literally, whenever we are on the train, my PA, who helps me, I basically hired an assistant to help me build this house because it's very, very empty. There's not really much in it. And he called me and he was crying. And he was like, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but... And the phone cut. And this is as soon as we got to the train station, we're like... My heart started going. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So Sammy and I, it took us 10-15 minutes to walk over to the hotel. We eventually called him again, and he broke the news that sadly, Mochi passed away. Now, there's a few things I want to get straight here. A lot of people understood what I was saying, but a few people didn't. What happened was a freak accident. It can happen to anything. It can happen to anyone. Dogs, people, cats, monkeys, giraffes, no matter what it is. This can happen. What ended up happening was Mochi sadly choked to death. She was eating her food, the food that she has every day pretty much. Went down the wrong way, but sadly went down the wrong way too far to the point where my friend and my PA, they got to the vet. Mochi was still alive at the vet, but even the vet said it was too far gone to be able to do anything. They did everything right. That's what I want to say, is that I still trust my PA and I still trust my friend who came over with everything. It was not their fault 100%. We could have been there and we could have rushed Mochi to hospital, to the vet, and there could have been nothing done. It doesn't matter who was there. It's just how it is. So if anything, I kind of want to applaud my PA and my friend who came over for doing everything that they did. They did everything right. I can't iterate that enough. But sadly, it's just one of those things. Is it hard? Of course it is. We were complete wrecks the entire trip. But what ended up happening was I flew over to Insomnia. I had a booth there. I had like the big mini lab booth and everything. I was selling new merch, and I actually had a poster with Mochi on it. And there was 500 of those made for the event, and not all of them sold. I mean, for obvious reasons. Some people wanted it because it was limited edition, but some people didn't want it because sadly they realized that Mochi passed away. So they're going to be selling online. And there's only like 300 or so left, maybe even actually no, there's probably a lot less. So whichever is left in upcoming videos, I'll release a link where you guys can buy it. Once those copies are gone, they're gone. And one thing I did before I left, because I realized that I left the convention halfway through it. It was a 4-day thing, and I did 2 days where I did 4-hour, 5-hour meet and greets. Even though I was grieving, and even though I was a complete wreck, I still felt bad for people who've traveled all around the world. A guy flew over from South Africa. There was someone who came from the Netherlands, who's actually a guy who comes by my streams a lot. California, people came in from everywhere to come and see me, and I would feel like I'm letting those people down. Yes, I realized I was a complete wreck, but I would feel even worse self-consciously to know that I couldn't meet the people who came out and see me. So I did 2 days of 5 hours of meet and greeting, saying hi, chilling with you guys, hearing your stories, and it was tough. The people who came out was absolutely amazing. Apart from one guy who can go fuck himself, who was laughing at Mochi's death to my face. You know who you are, and you can go fuck yourself. Regardless, the other thousands of people that I met, bless you. You're absolutely incredible, and the gifts you guys gave me. But that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Was sort of putting on a face and just making sure that the people who came out to see me actually got to see me. And so I didn't cower away in my room, which I really, really wanted to do, because all I wanted to do was nothing. I wanted to give myself time to grieve. I wanted to give myself time to just realize what has happened. The freak accent that is. But I powered through. I powered through for you guys, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm at without you guys. So I'm really glad I was able to do that. Some people wondering like, oh, why come you didn't stay the 4 days? You'll eventually realize in the second part of the story. The second part of the story is I flew back to LA on the Sunday, and as soon as we got back, the vet held Moch over at the vet. They basically preserved her a little bit just so we can say our final goodbyes. We came back, we cleared up all our stuff. We're just kind of like, it's in the grieving process by itself, just to kind of like move her stuff and whatnot. We kept her collar, and we're gonna preserve and cremate Moch. We have already done that. It's the first time I've ever even seen an urn or cremation or whatever. I haven't got it yet because I just came back from my trip away. My first vacation in 7 years of doing YouTube. Wild. We came back, took away all of Mochi's stuff, her kennel and her cage and her like all her toys and everything. We put them away, and then we went in to go see her. We went to go into the vet. They gave us a few hours heads out to make her, you know, like make sure she was presentable somewhat. And we got to say our final goodbyes. So seeing her in person, give me a minute. Okay. I'm not crying. You're crying. Fuck you. So we went to go say our final goodbyes, which was nice. You know, being able to see her one last time. And then we got back, and after coming back from there, it was a few days afterwards. Sammy and I, we were just chilling. We were downstairs. Obviously, Moch was running around and whatnot normally when we were lying there. So, I have a lot of anxiety. I've had a lot of depression in my time, but I've kind of tried to suppress that. Sammy's helped with that a lot. But whenever I was lying on the couch, we were just finished eating dinner and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, I got crazy heart palpitations, and I lost feeling in my left leg and my left arm, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? I didn't know what to do. The only thing my brain wanted me to do was go outside and just walk and just pace. So I did that. I walked outside and I just paced, and it got worse. It gradually got worse and worse and worse, to the point where every 30 seconds, every time the heart palpitations came in, I would like pretty much half fall over and I would start to faint. This has never happened before, and I got really, really scared, to the point where I started fainting and fainting and fainting. And then what happened was I started throwing up like really violently. So I was fainting and then throwing up, fainting and then throwing up. It's pretty much what was happening. I didn't know. I was scared. I was really scared. So I was like, okay, Sammy, I need to go to the hospital. Something's really, really wrong. We rushed into hospital, and we lay there. And what they basically told me was it was anxiety. Now, if you've heard the Logic song, he has a little story at the end of one of his songs. This is where he went to a movie theater and he collapsed, and he couldn't believe why it was anxiety that made him collapse like that. And now I get it. I weirdly relate to that song now. Put me on a heart monitor. They put me on a drip. They took my blood, checked my blood in case anything else was going on. But I was in there for 6 hours. I was just counting myself, and they were there just trying to take care of me, making sure I was okay. And it was awful. I was throwing up even inside like the hospital and whatnot. I was still half fainting back and forth. I was like rigid for a lot of it. I physically couldn't move. And it was awful. So I got rushed in the hospital, and whenever they told me it was anxiety, everything was pointing towards anxiety, and every 30 seconds I was having a crazy panic attack, like a really bad one, to the point where I was fainting and throwing up and everything. I realized, you know, everything that's happened and everything that I do has always been to try and make sure that other people are okay. It's who I am as a person. From God, the few decades I've been on this earth, the last 23 years I've been on this earth, I've always been someone to just make sure that everyone else is okay, and I would just put myself on the back burner. And that's why I haven't had a vacation in 7 years until this weekend, because in my mind I wanted to make sure that people were first. That's just how I was. Back before I did YouTube and whatnot, I used to come home and I used to just watch other YouTubers, and that was my release. That was my way of just relaxing. And it got to the point where whenever my audience started to grow and you guys started to come in and watch my videos now and again, that like I was your escape. Just the way a lot of YouTubers was my escape, I am your escape. from reality, from your hard times at school, from work, from family grievances, from anything. And once I realized that, I was like, right, I'm gonna work my ass off and make sure, and that's why I started to upload daily, was because I wanted to make sure that whenever you came home from school, I was there to be able to make sure that you were okay. That's how my brain works, and I've always been that way. And it got to the point where I realized that I was putting everyone ahead of me so much, even at the convention, that it literally started to kill me. Would I do it again? Of course I would. It's, again, just because this has happened doesn't change who I am. But I've realized that what things I put on the back burner for myself, because I'm like, well, if I do this, I'll be able to get a daily upload. I realized that one thing I want to start doing is, yes, I want to continue to do daily stuff, but I want to incorporate the things that I've been thinking about into what I'm doing, into my uploads. And I feel like you get a vibe from someone. Like, even when you're watching this video, you get a vibe of who they are as a person. No matter if they're a vlogger, you know, beauty channel, gaming channel, / Fortnite channel, because that's all everyone uploads nowadays. Apart from myself, I uploaded one which is a parody, which a lot of people didn't realize was a parody. I did a parody in the title. I made, sorry, it's off on a tangent, but I made that video so oblivious and so obviously ripping into other Fortnite YouTubers that everyone thought that it was real. I'm like, how bad has clickbait got that this is considered a regular video? Wild. Anyway, that's what this little vlog is about, is say, hey, by the way, your boy's back. And also, I want to incorporate stuff that I want to do, that I've been wanting to do for a long time, into my videos. It's going to take a while for me to realize how to do this on a regular scale, but I'm excited. And I feel like it's not changed. It's not changed. You will still get every video that you will see on my channel today and before going forward. It's still, I want to incorporate more stuff. And I'm excited about that. And I feel like you get a vibe from someone, like I was saying, and you're going to see in these videos coming up that it's different. It's like, oh, he's actually really enjoying himself. Exactly. And that's what I want, because I love video making and I love everything that I have going on in my life. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to everyone who's tuned in and sent me all the well wishes. There's literally hundreds of thousands of you, from YouTube to Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to Snapchat to wherever, that have wished me well. And it's always funny when stuff like this happens. People come out of left field that you haven't talked to in a while just to kind of wish you well, and it's nice. And there's also some people who you would expect to say something but didn't. So that's kind of fun at the same time. Regardless, this is not a bitching session. This is, honestly, it's really not. That shit is behind me. I don't even want to think about that anymore. I realize that this video doesn't have much editing to it. It doesn't have much to it. It's just me and you. And that's it. Just mano a mano. You know, I want to just be able to speak to you as I normally would. Because, like, normally you'll see me as like, hey, chip chip cheerio, fuck-a-doodle-doo. Like, but now this is the way I would talk to anyone. This is like, if you meet me in the street, anyone who knows me, this is how I talk to them. It's a lot more calm, a lot more collected. But whenever I play video games, I get very excited and whatnot. But this is just very raw, I guess you could say. But that's what's been going on in my life. I'm gonna try. I said to myself I wanted to keep this under 20 minutes, so I'm happy with where I'm going with this. And chances are I've probably forgot stuff, but that's okay, because I've got what I wanted to say out there. Like I said, thank you to everyone who's reached out. You've all been incredibly amazing. The future is going to be fun, and I'm gonna leave it there. You know, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm happy with this. I've got some side projects going on in the background, which eventually you guys will realize, and eventually you guys will understand. Eventually you guys will start to see. One of them is downstairs. I'm making myself a music studio downstairs. There's a hint of what I have planned for the future. A little hint. Not much. Just a teeny bit. But thank you all. I'm gonna go before my brain gets completely frazzled. I know I've just been ranting on, raving, and then drattling off a little bit here and there, but thank you all so much. I'll see you all in a video. I have a few more videos left that I have for stockpile. You may have seen them on other people's channels, and if you have, I apologize. But the next few days is going to be videos that I've already, that I stockpiled a few weeks ago. And then from there, it's going to be new content. The newer stuff will gradually start to creep its way in, and when you see it, you'll be like, ah, that's what the fuck we're talking about. Regardless, thank you all for watching. I'm back. Times are good, and it's just a matter of, you know, moving on from everything that's happened over the last few weeks of my life, which have been the worst few weeks of my life, which is why I've I took my time off Twitter, took my time off Instagram, Facebook, and everything like that. But I'm back, and I'm feeling good. I miss working. I miss being able to do this. So, here's the future. Take it easy, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.